She asked a poor mechanic for financial advice as a joke. What he said stunned her. Emily Carter had everything most people dreamed of. At 28, she was a successful marketing executive in Chicago. She drove a luxury car, wore designer clothes, lived in a high-rise apartment, and earned more money than many people twice her age. At least, that's what everyone thought. The truth was far different. Despite her impressive salary, Emily was drowning in debt. Her credit cards were nearly maxed out. She owed money on her car, her apartment rent kept increasing, and every month she found herself waiting desperately for payday. Yet nobody knew. She smiled through expensive dinners, weekend shopping trips, and glamorous social media photos. One rainy afternoon, her luxury SUV suddenly broke down on a quiet road outside the city. Frustrated, Emily called a towing service. The vehicle was taken to a small local garage called Miller's Auto Repair. The shop looked old and worn. Rusty tools hung on the walls. Oil stains covered the concrete floor. Emily immediately assumed the owner was struggling financially. Then she met him. His name was Daniel Miller. He appeared to be around 35 years old. His hands were covered in grease. His work clothes were faded. The garage itself looked like it had survived several decades without renovation. Emily couldn't imagine anyone poorer. Daniel inspected the vehicle carefully. "Transmission issue," he said calmly. "Can you fix it today?" Emily asked. "I can." "Good. I need it quickly." Daniel nodded. While waiting, Emily sat in the small office scrolling through her banking app. Her smile disappeared. Several overdue payments flashed across the screen. Another credit card notification arrived. "Past due." Again. She groaned. Daniel happened to walk by. "Tough day?" he asked politely. Emily laughed sarcastically. "You could say that." Daniel sat across from her. "Financial problems." Emily almost laughed. The question seemed absurd coming from a mechanic working in a run-down garage. Still, she answered. "Honestly, I'm broke." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "You drive a $70,000 SUV." "Exactly." He nodded slowly. Emily smirked. "Let me guess. You're about to tell me to stop buying coffee." Daniel chuckled. "No." "Then what? What percentage of your income do you save?" Emily blinked. "Save?" "Yes." She laughed. "Nothing." Daniel nodded. "That's your problem." Emily rolled her eyes. "Wow. Revolutionary advice." Daniel wasn't offended. "How much did your handbag cost?" Emily hesitated. $2,000. "How much is in your emergency fund?" Silence. Daniel smiled gently. "I think you just answered your own question." For a moment, Emily felt strangely uncomfortable. She changed the subject. "So what's your investment strategy, Mr. Mechanic?" The question was meant as a joke. Daniel looked thoughtful. "Mostly index funds." Emily stopped smiling. "What? Low-cost index funds? You invest?" "Of course." She stared at him. Daniel continued casually. "I buy consistently every month." Emily laughed nervously. "And how much could a mechanic possibly invest?" Daniel shrugged. "Enough." His answer irritated her. "What's that supposed to mean?" Daniel simply smiled. "Money isn't about income. It's about habits." Emily dismissed the conversation. After paying for the repair, she drove home. Yet his words lingered in her mind. Money isn't about income. It's about habits. For some reason, she couldn't forget them. The next week, Emily attended a dinner party hosted by her wealthy friend Sophia. The guests spent the evening discussing luxury vacations, expensive watches, and investment opportunities. One man bragged about making $50,000 from cryptocurrency. Another claimed he would retire by 40. Emily laughed and participated. But inside, she felt like a fraud. Every person at that table appeared richer than her. Yet she secretly owed more money than she could comfortably repay. Later that night, she reviewed her finances honestly for the first time. The results shocked her. Monthly income, impressive. Monthly spending, ridiculous. Restaurant bills, designer clothing, subscriptions she never used, luxury beauty products, impulse purchases, everything added together. She was spending nearly every dollar she earned. For the first time, Daniel's advice started making sense. The following month, her SUV needed another minor repair. Reluctantly, she returned to Miller's Auto Repair. Daniel greeted her warmly. "Back already?" "Unfortunately." While waiting, Emily sat in the office again. This time she initiated the conversation. Okay, she said. Daniel looked surprised. Okay, what? Let's say you're right. About my spending habits. Daniel nodded. Go on. Then what should I do? He leaned back. Want the honest answer? Sure. Stop trying to look rich. The words hit harder than she expected. What does that mean? It means wealthy people and people who look wealthy are often completely different. Emily crossed her arms. And you know this how? Daniel smiled. Experience. Experience as a mechanic. Daniel simply nodded. People reveal everything when they bring their cars here. Emily laughed. That makes no sense. It does. He pointed outside. See that old pickup truck? Yes. The owner owns 3 apartment buildings. Emily blinked. Daniel pointed at a sports car parked nearby. That one? Yes. The owner is drowning in debt. Emily stared at him. Seriously. Very. Suddenly, the world felt upside down. Everything she believed about money seemed wrong. Over the following weeks, Emily continued visiting the garage. Sometimes her car didn't even need repairs. She simply stopped by for coffee and conversation. Daniel never lectured. He simply shared observations, small habits, long-term thinking, patience, discipline. Gradually, Emily began changing. She canceled unnecessary subscriptions, sold designer items she rarely used, created an emergency fund, started investing small amounts every month. The changes felt uncomfortable at first. But after 6 months, something remarkable happened. Her debt began shrinking. For the first time in years, she felt in control. One afternoon, she arrived at the garage with exciting news. I paid off one of my credit cards. Daniel smiled. Congratulations. Emily laughed. You know what's funny? What? I used to think you were poor. Daniel burst into laughter. Most people do. Something about his response caught her attention. There was confidence behind it. A confidence that didn't match the appearance of a struggling mechanic. She suddenly became curious. Very curious. And soon she would discover a secret that would completely change how she viewed Daniel Miller forever.